Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, good. Y'all sure y'all can hear me? All right, cool. All right, hey guys, This is podcast script day 6. This show is titled "Don't Quit" and how to handle setbacks without giving up. Right. So, welcome to Still Human, the podcast that reminds us we're all on a journey of growth and renewal. I'm your host, Deborah Ashley, and today we're talking about something every single one of us has faced, right? Which is setbacks. And here's the truth. Setbacks are part of the journey. They're unavoidable, but the good news is that they don't have to define you. It's not about avoiding them. It's about how you bounce back, right? So, if you ever felt stuck or defeated lately, this episode is for you. Um, so I want to start off by sharing a personal story. A few years ago, I was working on a project that I poured my heart and soul into. I had a vision, passion, and what I thought was a solid plan. But then things started to fall apart with delays and unexpected challenges, and a whole lot of self-doubt crept in. You know, I I remember one day sitting in my car. I'm sorry, when I sitting in my car, I remember sitting on my bunk, right, feeling completely defeated, wondering if I should just quit. But then I realized something. Setbacks don't mean failure. There's lessons in disguises. I took a deep breath, reevaluated my approach, and leaned into the support of people who believed in me. That experience taught me resilience and patience, and it led to success I couldn't even imagine at the time. So what I want to remind you, no matter how big your setbacks feels, it's not the end of the story, and it's just a chapter, right? So I want to dive a little bit more deeper into what I'm talking about. Like, have you ever just reflected on life, and even just life after prison, right? It's it's not it's not always what you expected, but what can happen is you can only move forward and take the time to readjust and reapproach, right? So, one of my big goals this month, is to always reconnect, reach out, and hopefully start this movement, right? To remind ourselves, people who have been in the same shoes that I've been or walked the same path that I walked, right? We all deal with setbacks. Whether you struggle in that moment and you have to stop, whether you drive and have to pull over and reevaluate, or most of us who have sat on a bunk inside of a cell or in a room or on a wing with many people or just by ourselves, and all we can do is just think about or pray or how to use our time wise, because all the times that I've been trying to prepare for, I look back today, I reflect on it, of how much time that I put, where I went to social services classes, where I went to religious services, where I went to work on myself, where I did everything that I had the power to do for myself. And when that time came for freedom, right, I was all ecstatic and looking at, all right, what can I approach first, right? And man, talking about some lonely days, some lonely nights, and you still want to do the people that's still your friend are still your friend, and or you feel like certain job opportunities will give you a chance. And I don't even know my story, so because this was all new to me, I took the time to keep trying, you know, everything that I'm doing right now, everybody says that from posting content, they say you got to be consistent, right? And, there's a couple levels to it, right? And they advise people to just continue, they can, I'm sorry, I'm saying my thought. They, I hear people tell me, or whoever I listen to, they say, just be consistent, post every day for the next year, right? 365 days. Don't worry about the monetization, because that will come. Don't worry about the views or the subscribers. Like, that will take time, right? And if you flood, right, if depending on the keywords of a title, the keywords of certain things, how it can relate to other people and help them, that's going to catch people's eyes, right? So, I have my moments where I have to stop. I'm like, oh man, I'm not feeling it. But like, even just now, I had lost something materialized, and I finally found it, and I'm just like, man, I'm tired, and I'm thinking like, man, I don't want to lay down, take this nap, have hours time pass by, and I'm just saying like, man, I could have done this, I could have done that, and I did something different, like I said, earlier, these lessons that we go through, these hurdles that we face are disguises in them. And I always ask myself, what is it there to learn, right? Even something I don't understand. And, my dad had always asked me, if I have gone into any type of confusion or in trouble, he'll always ask me, what did you learn? And, there's always two C's to life: consequences and choices, right? So which one are you going to choose, and how are you going to handle it, right? So I just want you guys to take some time, right? Listen to what I said, because this is a moment of feeling stuck or defeated. It's just a moment of re-embracing who you are, standing tall, and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable and grow, right? Because it's more out there, right? It's definitely more to think about and reflect on. But I got some few tips for y'all, right? Hold on. So, alright, so let me just think about this, right? So, here's some tips for handling setbacks, right? I have about 3 for y'all. Number 1, practice self-compassion, right? So, in order to do that, when things go wrong, it's easy to beat yourself up. But self-criticism only makes them worse. Remind yourself that setbacks happen to everyone. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human, right? And that's always my key thing. That's the purpose of the movement that I'm trying to do right now. Because when you're being incarcerated, some people have difficult times of that they went through, and that's a traumatic experience to go through, or to withdraw as a citizen and give up your rights, and then go through sometimes the hardship of the peers, the people that you're around, or the officers. And you have a select few that are by your side that remind you, okay, it's about not being so much hard on yourself, but giving yourself a little grace, right? So just take time to reflect on that before I move on. Okay, so number two is reflect and adjust your approach. Meaning, instead of asking, why is this happening to me, ask, what can I learn from this? See? Take time to figure out what went wrong, then adjust your plan. Growth often comes from making small, meaningful changes, whether great or small, whether happy or sad. Change is going to come, right? So, to think of a quick example for that, I try not to think about like what was me, because that doesn't get me anywhere. But I do take the moment to think about how can I learn from this moment and what I need to do? So taking the time, however you heal, there's no rush, there's no deadline right to healing. This is your moment to soak in your emotion. Identify the emotion. Try to see kind of like the woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? For a moment where you could prevent, change something, right? Because we don't get no redo button, but we do get another chance to continue on in life, right? And again, with staying consistent, there's something about planting small seeds to go for, because there's growth, right? As long as you plant the right seeds, water it faithfully, then and then only then you will see the small changes that we're talking about, that I'm trying to get you to see, right? Because you know what, I don't know your situation, but if you are struggling, right, don't quit, right? I'm sure you have been there before, or question yourself, or question your purpose, or question your well-being. But listen, you were born for a reason. You are here today still, right? Living your best life as a human being, granted in grace, granted in another day, granted in just being who you are and who you want to be, because in this freedom, right, this is yours. And once you're able to grasp that and make those monumental decisions that you want to do, then you will see what I'm trying to talk about. Because listen, me too. I'm only in a position where I'm starting from scratch, having days from crying and trying to be patient and growing depressed, and I'm having moments where things are starting to be in place. You know, to finally having a job, to finally having a good support, to finally, you know, being in contact with certain therapists where they can help me, because this is a journey of healing. This is a journey of coping through this redemption, right? And you got to have the energy. Even if you don't have the energy, just get up. Don't stop, right? So just take time to try to see what I mean. So my third and last one is, which we already talked about. Number 3 is keep moving forward, even if it's one small step at a time. See, progress doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is that you don't stop. Celebrate the small wins and remind yourself of the bigger picture, right? You know, I'm trying to think. Something happened yesterday, and I was, oh no. Okay, so I got paid yesterday, and most of my money has been going to bills, and now I've been finally able to receive and celebrate, you know, my one of these checks, and to deposit my hard work and spread it in different accounts where I can save and see it grow. I was pretty excited, along with other things as far as like getting certain appointments for the rest of the week, for this week. And I'm like, man, see, sometimes I don't yell, or sometimes I don't clap, but I gave myself an applause yesterday while I was driving. I'm like, man, this is it. My number one transportation, my own vehicle, is, you know, I've been putting a lot of money into that, and making sure it's good from from under the hood to the inside of the car, to the oil change, to the everything that's there, to make sure it's still clean, because I don't want to move on and not be the same person every day. I want to have some type of change, some type of trademark that reminds me that, hey, this is a new day. You have come this far. You're not the same person from 7-8 years ago, or almost a decade, right? I just want you to take time to think about that. You know, and if you are listening to this at this part of the message, I hope you If you like it, let me know. If you dislike it, let me know. Listen, I'm a work in progress within my own, and only I can do the work that needs to be done, right? So definitely let me know what's up. I have some closing remarks to mention to you guys. So hear me out. Okay. So here are some key takeaways, right? That I want you guys to think about. Setbacks are stepping stones. If you use them to learn and grow, the key is to keep going even when it's hard. Because listen, if everything was easy, then anybody would do it, right? But let me leave you with this. Your journey isn't about being perfect. It's about perseverance, which is one of my favorite words. You've overcome so much already, and you're capable of so much more. I'm going to close you with this, right? Just think about that, because I think about the word perseverance all the time, right? And I would like to one day hopefully get that, tatted on me, that and growth, right? And see, when I was a student athlete, I learned how to work through the pain, work through the being out of breath, learn to sustain my energy and embrace it, and to pick up my stamina, right? Well, when I went through this, when I was incarcerated, right, I learned a different level of mental toughness. When you get names yelled at you or being disrespected, but you know what I did? I kept quiet. And at times, yeah, I did speak up. But I spoke up at times so I can defend myself, because I got tired of people saying the same old stuff. But then, man, I just grew numb to it. Because I thought, wow, I feel as though you're not there to help me grow. You're not there to help me to elevate or to help me to educate. You're all wasting my time. So I stuck to myself majority of the time. And when it was time to, like, dance, that's when I did. But just keep going, you know? But I just want to say thank you guys for joining me on today's episode of Still Human. If today's message resonated with you, share with someone you might need a reminder not to quit. But remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. I'm sure you heard that before, right? Until next time, I'm Deborah Ashley, reminding you to embrace your journey, because you're still human. You're still growing. Take care. Peace. 3, 2, 1.